Good evening, and welcome to this short presentation here at Bradford Schools about should computers be in the classrooms. Many schools today do not have the luxury of having computers and technology in their classrooms, and a lot of this comes from lack of community support. Because of this lack of community support, we deprive our children of the opportunities to have technology in their classrooms. Technology can help students to have better, more individualized lessons, better communication between teachers, parents, administrators, and staff. The real world is changing, and our schools need to follow suit as well. As well as technology helps to foster independence and responsibility among students. So more individualized lessons. Technology allows the repetition of lessons. For example, with different math programs, if a student is struggling with a subject such as division, that math program will give them more and more practice on the division problems that they are having trouble with. Teachers are not always able to do this because they have to meet the needs of 30 others, on average about 30 other students in their classrooms. And it can also help for tutoring, such as e-tutoring that a lot of colleges will use to have communication between kids from different campuses, that even though they don't see each other, they have the opportunity to have tutoring. Gully from Pros and Cons of Computer Technology both pointed out both of these points. And according to Yates, with learning disabled students, with students, if it takes them a minute to write one word, and it takes 30 seconds for them to type that same word, they're able to get it done twice as fast and have better efficiency. As well with this, the voice to text option that computers have helps the students to do so much better because they can just talk into the computer and it will type it for them, which as I said, it helps with efficiency and puts more output of those students. Zelly Kinko says that research-based projects are able to be supported by technology. Instead of the parent having to pick the student up from school and take them to the library, and the student has to pick out the books and then check them out, and then in 2 weeks go back and renew them or return them, they can go straight onto Google, print off the papers they need, and use those papers instead of having to carry big textbooks or big books around. It also serves as better communication between teachers, administrators, staff, and parents, as well as the students. Through email, they're able to, email the teacher, and it's so much more effective and so much quicker than what by mail. Everything is time-stamped. With administrators, they do not always have to be on campus. They can be out at trainings and using their time to help better themselves so that their district can become better. With teachers from different states, for example, agriculture education teachers, if they're wanting to do a project on soil and they know a teacher from the state right next door that did a project on soil, then those two teachers can collaborate and have better planning, instruction, and then better quality whenever they execute that lesson plan. And as I said, teachers and parents then can work better together because of the improved communication that Yates talks about and benefits of computers. So the real world is changing and our education system needs to follow suit. According to George Campbell, he predicts that in 2020 there will no longer be one professor in the room, rather, one professor having a lecture speaking to 100 students. Rather, there will be teams of coaches, teams of professionals in that field working to better these students and giving them projects. So say in a medical or for a doctor class, instead of having a professor who has a doctorate in this degree, and is a doctor but doesn't work in the field anymore. There are doctors who come in 1 day a week and teach to these students and say, hey, here's an issue about a plugged blood vessel in the brain. What do we do? The patient only has 12 hours, or not even 12 hours, and then they're dead. Find a way to work this out. And tells 4 students to work together. These 4 students have the opportunity to work together and building problem-solving skills and communication skills, and it just works so much better. The real world is changing to more technology. Everybody is on social media, so our education system also needs to change as well to more technology-based. Libraries are slowly dying, as much as we don't want to say that. Libraries, buildings, and a lot of it is more going to Google and other search engines. So by having our students learn technology when they are 10, 11, 12, 15, 18, all the way up, then the real world employers do not have to spend their time and their resources putting their employees through training when they have people who already know technology, which can help to get an employer or an employee going so much faster in their field, instead of having to spend 2 weeks learning about technology and how something simple as Microsoft Office works. Technology also helps to foster independence and responsibility in our students. It can make boring subjects interesting. For example, the biggest reason that I remember how a bill becomes a law is from the Schoolhouse Rock video of I'm Just a Bill. It has a real catchy tune, and it goes a little bit like, hey, I'm just a bill, yeah, I'm only a bill, and I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill, and it just keeps going. But because of that song, I'm better able to remember how a bill becomes a law, because a boring subject was made interesting. 9 out of 10 students truly believe that technology helps them better with in their classrooms. Education is no longer about memorizing these certain words for a vocabulary test next week. It is about learning how these words help them to become better people. It is how the certain equations, the compound interest equations, how they will use that equation in their real life instead of Kramer's law, which they'll forget in 6 months because they just memorized Kramer's law, but they learned the compound interest equation. On a study of second graders, they were given an animal and said, research this animal and make a PowerPoint about it. The students, 90% of the students said they retained this information better because they used a PowerPoint and used technology to help with that. Cox also brings up a good point. Our students use technology in their everyday lives. They're on their phones, they're on the TV, they're on their parents' phones, they're on computers. Why are we not bringing it into our classroom and using the resources that our students already know to help better their education and better themselves? So, technology benefits our future by giving our students more individualized lessons, better communication between teachers, administrators, staff, parents, and students, as well as readying our children for the real world and fosters independence and responsibility for our students. I just want to just close your eyes and imagine a world where all your child brings home is a computer, a phone cord, maybe a notebook, a flash drive, and a piece of pencil, and a pencil. They don't carry home folders filled with paper that adds weight to their bag. They don't carry home a big 5-subject notebook with paper stuffed in it that once again adds more weight to their bag. And they don't have an agenda and extra paper and everything else. My book bag today, I kid you not, weighed 25 pounds. I weighed it on the scales. Now that book bag was full and I'd struggled to get everything that I needed in it whenever I was leaving school today. Granted, that also had a computer as well as a phone cord, and staplers and just little things that I use every day because once I leave home, I at 7 in the morning. I don't get home till 9 o'clock at night most nights. And because of technology and computers being in my classroom, I'm better able to not, if I didn't have to carry the computer, I would be better to not have so much in my bag because I just have a flash drive, which is what my life is on. So you can open up your eyes again. I just have a quick challenge for you. So I challenge each of you, if this little presentation here did not convince you a little bit that technology is great for the classroom, then I need you to go into a school, call them, go into their school, and see how technology is bettering our students and how technology is being used positively in their classroom. If we teach today as we were taught yesterday, we rob our children of tomorrow. John Dewey said this: if we, just as a quick wrap up, if we keep teaching today as we taught in 2000, as we taught yesterday, we'll rob our children of the opportunities of tomorrow. So now, thank you for your time and have a safe drive home.